That can't be right.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman. Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
Out there's a ship just for you. A ship that can carry you to the furthest stars, jumping long distances whilst offering an unobstructed view of the galaxy. A ship that can also pack a decent punch if the pirates come knocking. A ship that feels safe. A ship that feels like home. The Asp Explorer. A great ship at a great price in a competitive galaxy. Fly far. Fly safe. Fly in front of things.
Dex Island is a dangerous new nation. Made up of Dex Industries employees, it has a tiny population comprised of the brightest minds in engineering, science, medicine, strategy, and manufacturing in the world. What Dex Island lacks in population, it makes up for in concept. Simply put, the idea of Dex Island takes up space in the international consciousness. Globally, they are small, but their inventions are already changing the world. Nothing embodies the Dex spectacle or its growing presence like the flagship of the Dex airborne fleet, Angel City.
The invention we are about to reveal changes the face of warfare as we know it. It redefines the limits we place upon ourselves regarding the scale of our ambition. It proves that with scientific innovation comes the opportunity to think beyond our former achievements, beyond the achievements of the ancestors themselves. We are a small nation, pushing boundaries and inventing a new future. Wherever we go, our vision for the world goes with us. Wherever we are seen. Wherever we are seen, we are understood to be a force in the world, reshaping the battlefields upon which we tread. I give to you the flagship of the new Dex fleet, Angel City.
1,000 meters long and 300 meters in breadth, it is an engineering masterpiece. The brainchild of Dr. Osis Rivastava and jointly realized with the Admiral of the Dex fleet, Idris Moroweather. Angel City is the single most expensive and effective advertisement for Dex innovation and power that could ever be conceived by a human or artificial mind. Delivering Dex troops and hardware wherever they are deployed, Angel City immediately impresses upon those present the caliber of those with whom they are doing business. Such a large ship requires constant maintenance. Following his ordeal in Tristan's torture chamber, Ren takes some time to help his close comrade, friend, and pilot, Raya, with some routine repairs. Interlude 4 of The Dex Legacy, starring Stevie Skinner as Raya, Charlie Richards as Ren, and Emily Inkpen as Auto, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud.
Get over here and help me with this.
How long do you think I've got before they come and find me?
You've been here an hour, so I'd say another 20 minutes. Maybe less.
I mean, I did come here to drop off Osa's plans. It was you who got me into a major rewriting job, which Osa wouldn't approve of, by the way.
Idris hasn't let her on board since Angel City took off. She was here for the maiden flight, and that was it.
Yeah. She's mentioned that about 100 times. Not that she's bitter.
Idris likes to own his airship. And his fleet in general.
I don't blame him. I wish I could own something.
If this is going to turn into another heart-to-heart, feel sorry for me, chat, I'm not here for it.
Ouch.
I mean, I've heard it. You know I care.
Don't worry, I'm bored of it too.
When's your next treatment?
We go in tonight.
Where have you been for the last few days? No one's seen you.
Trust me, you don't want to know.
A mission?
A test. One big, stupid, screwed-up test. I don't think Nathaniel, or Tristan, or Devek wanted us to be out and talking to people, but Osa's found a way to give us a break. Varian's testing some new weapons, and Isra's being fitted for something.
To be honest, it sounds pretty bad. How long will you be in the lab?
A few days, maybe a week. Depends on recovery, as always. I would tell you how bad it'll be, but you've told me not to complain.
Yep, I've heard it. And it's not like I don't know, I've had treatments too.
Yeah, I know, and I'll admit I do forget sometimes. I can be a bit self-absorbed.
How highly evolved of you to admit it.
Introspective evolution is about the only type of evolution Devek isn't interested in. Though, it's not surprising. If there's one person on this planet who needs it, it's him.
Alright, let's turn this section on and see where we are.
It's looking good. Ugh. I have to go. Nathaniel wants us back for dinner.
You eat dinner with him?
Sometimes, when he wants to lecture us on something. I expect it'll be about this test we've just survived. He'll be putting his spin on it. I'll get my jacket.
Where did you leave it?
In our cabin.
How did you three get a permanent cabin, exactly?
It's not like it's unheard of. You did.
That's different. I live on board. You three come and go.
It was an accident. On the day Angel City was due to fly for the first time, Osa and Idris were running around here doing final checks and the rest. Anyway, Varian, Isra and me, we were running around, getting under their feet, stealing bits of equipment out from under their noses and running off. They got so angry they locked us in that cabin, just off the bridge. Idris put Isra under his arm and got me and Varian by our arms. He's a strong guy.
Yeah, I know that.
So he locked us in there and forgot about us. 3 hours later, they were ready to take off, and Nathaniel was asking where we were because we were meant to be down on the ground with him to watch the launch. Osa came and got us, and we were on the bridge for the whole thing.
You were on board?
Yep. We weren't meant to be.
Angel City. Cabin B641. Entry authorized.
And this cabin's been yours ever since?
Well, 3 hours is a long time, especially for kids, so we were playing games, drawing on the walls. Look there.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, I guess Idris felt bad for forgetting us, or he liked what we did with the place. Whatever the reason, it's always been ours.
I see you kept drawing on the walls.
Yeah, we still add to it.
Let me guess. Varian, Isra, and you.
Yep.
You got the bottom bunk.
I'm the youngest.
Okay, let's have a look.
Hey, that's private, you know.
Oh, don't be stupid. As soon as you leave the ship, I could just come in here and read it all anyway. This looks fresh. Ekonome Rubin.
Ekonome Robene Tamone. It's Dominosi.
What does it mean?
Maybe one day I'll tell you.
Ooh, mysterious. What's with the list over Varian's bed?
That's all the women he's been with.
Seriously? That's quite a few names.
And growing. He says it's good manners or he'd forget them. I think it's more like trophy collecting.
Yeah. Wow. No names next to your bed?
Even if there were names, you wouldn't find them there.
Are there names?
Are you interested?
Not in you.
No? Who?
Isra's hot. She scares people, but she doesn't scare me.
She should.
I fly fighters much faster than you can run. She can't catch me.
Ah, you're assuming you'd make it to your fighter.
Does she scare you?
Sometimes.
Does Isra like girls?
I don't know. I've never asked. Maybe. If she does, then she likes both.
Oh, really?
You won't find names above her bed either.
It was worth a look.
Any names above yours?
I suppose we're talking metaphorically now. And metaphorically, yes.
Really? Who?
A few.
Any I know?
Sure. Faris?
Faris?
Yep. She definitely likes both.
So, are you two...
No, it's just fun, sometimes.
Huh.
So, what about you?
What about me?
Well, you're never with any girls, so people have started saying you like boys.
Does it matter?
No, but I shared. You owe me one. It's just good manners.
In that case, I think I do like both.
Ha! I knew it!
Well done, you got me. Not that it matters, there's no specific guys I like.
You know, it doesn't have to be someone specific for you to have fun.
You sound like Varian. Okay. I really have to go. Come on, get out of here.
Eka Nome Rubin Timon.
I'm not telling you. You can look it up.
In that case, I'll never know.
What is it with everyone else not reading books?
You just heard Angel City, Interlude 4 of The Dex Legacy, starring Stevie Skinner as Raya, Charlie Richards as Ren, and me, Emily Inkpen, as Auto, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud. The Dex Legacy is written by me, Emily Inkpen, and produced by Alternative Stories. If you enjoyed that interlude, please like, subscribe, and comment. It's the one small thing you can do to give a huge boost to our team, and it helps to make us more visible for future listeners. If you would like to support The Dex Legacy, you can at ko-fi.com/The Dex Legacy audio drama. Links can be found at www.thedexlegacy.com. At thedexlegacy.com, you will also find scripts for every episode and interlude, so if you like to read while you listen, you can. There's a page dedicated to the cast and a whole load of bonus materials, including maps, the soundtrack, a gallery of character portraits, and interviews. You can also sign up to the Dex Legacy newsletter for a secret link to me reading The Dark, a short story and prequel to the audio drama. As always, we would like to give a huge thank you and shout out to those of you who have liked our episodes, left comments and reviews, and subscribed to the show. And we'd also like to thank those of you who have visited our Ko-fi page and donated to the series so far. Every donation goes straight into bringing you more from the world of Dex. Now, here's a trailer for the audio drama podcast A Ninth World Journal by David S. Deere.
This is A Ninth World Journal. A careless experiment with a teleportation device has left me stranded in random places throughout the Ninth World. While trying to survive in these strange lands, I must find a way to reverse my condition.
A Ninth World Journal is a science fantasy audio drama podcast. Subscribe to listen or visit ninthworldjournal.com.
We'll share a link to A Ninth World Journal in the show notes for this episode, so be sure to check it out. We're also delighted to announce that David will be joining the cast of The Dex Legacy in the role of the Admiral of the Dex Fleet, Idris. You'll hear David as Idris in future episodes, and you can read a short bio on the cast page of our website, thedexlegacy.com. Thank you for listening.
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Have you been affected by Azimuth Biotech's provocation of the Thargoid menace? At Turner & Fig, we're ready to pursue claims against Azimuth Biotech as part of our class action lawsuit.
My son has started worshipping the Thargoid god and keeps bringing home human sacrifices. Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
My daughter was aboard the Bright Sentinel. I keep calling Azimuth to find out where she is, but I always get their voicemail.
Thank you for calling Azimuth Biotech. We're sorry, but
salvation
is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
I was selling escape pod occupants into slavery, but now Thargoids keep taking the escape pods instead. Am I entitled to compensation?
I suppose so. Thousands, maybe millions of people are due compensation from Azimuth Biotech. Contact us today. Turner & Fig, cleaning out Azimuth Biotech for a huge portion of your compensation.
Sweet dreams, little ones. You rest up in your hangar bay, because in the morning, you'll wake up to smell fresh laser fire, because you're in a Federal Corvette. And there's one thing that a core dynamic ship does well, and that's kill ships. Big ships, small ships, rings of ships. We even have a go at booping asteroids. Enemy shields down! Enemy dead! There's no further targets, Commander! That's all you'll ever have to say in a Federal Corvette. Core dynamics! Let's not talk about skimmers.
New from Azimuth Biotech, it's Tickle Me Thargoid.
Me Thargoid is fun for all the family. Teach your little anti-Xeno commander the difference between an Orthrus and a Cyclops, a Basilisk and a Medusa.
Count the hearts.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Cyclops.
All Tickle Me Thargoids spray realistic caustic clouds.
Not near the curtains.
I love you, Tickle Me Thargoid.
Tickle Me Thargoid. Available now from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers.
Ladies and gentlemen, pilots of the galaxy, prepare yourselves for the most sinister and enigmatic hunter-class vessel to ever emerge from the depths of space. Introducing the Scythe, the latest terror of the Thargoid fleet in Update 16. Now, I know you've encountered the Glaive from Update 15, but let me tell you, the Scythe is an entirely different beast. A breed apart from the norm. Its purpose, its intent, shrouded in mystery. When the Scythe appears on your radar, you'll need to be sharp, pilots. Understanding its target selection is key to surviving its relentless pursuit. It ain't your regular combat vessel, oh no. This vessel dances to a tune only the Thargoids know. But wait, there's more. Not only does the Scythe boast an arsenal of tools we know too well, but it's equipped with brand new weapons, designed to strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest commanders. What exactly is its purpose, you ask? Brace yourselves, dear listeners, for it is unlike anything you've seen before. The Scythe has a singular, sinister objective, and you, my friends, will bear witness to it in Update 16. Join our expert pilots and learn the secrets of battling the Scythe. Together, we'll uncover its chilling mysteries and reveal its weaknesses. So gear up, get ready, and brace yourself for the ultimate challenge. Update 16 brings with it a relentless adversary. But remember, you're not alone in this fight. Tune in, fellow commanders, and equip yourselves with knowledge and courage. Fight for humanity, and let's show the Scythe what we're made of. The Scythe is coming, and the Thargoids won't know what hit them. Don't miss this epic showdown. Update 16. It's survival of the fittest, and we know you've got what it takes. Brought to you by Lave Radio Network. United we stand, divided they'll fall. Stay tuned and fly safe out there, commanders.
and welcome to Lave Radio.
Waiting
Greetings and
for
welcome to Lave
things
Radio.
to
Greetings,
load.
Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 451 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station. And joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Banksy SRV driver, that would be Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, good evening and welcome.
We also have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Scythe.
Hello.
Hello. And of course, we have, well, Ben is away on holiday. He's on his sabbatical. We won't see him for another month. But we've managed to get Commander Indigo to join us for this episode.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. Right. So, if you wish, you can join us live. Now, our Chris Mark IV is going to be going about and doing stuff today. So if you want to keep him company, he's starting off at Lave and will be heading out to various places. Hashtag spoiler alert. But so you can join him, but if you can't get to us in game, you can join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go to twitch.tv/laveradio. Have a look at all the chat that's happening there, or you can look us up on Facebook, YouTube, and X, whatever that is. Oh, we're also on Threads.
No, we don't accept that. We just don't accept it. It's not a thing.
No, it's okay, Twitter. Yeah. Anyway, so let's have a quick run on the crew, see how they've been. We'll start with Commander Psychit.
Oh man, it's been a week. My computer died. My computer absolutely died. So you know what we took last week? We took Artie to the vet. And Artie's fine, by the way. He is all cleared up. He is a lovely pupper, and I love him to pieces, and he's great. Took Artie to the vet, and that was all fine. Then our washing machine died. Our washing machine exploded a little bit. It started. I was just sat working on my computer, and it went bang, 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 and I was like, holy shit. So the washing machine's died, and we're having to get someone out to deal with that because it's not something that we can fix on their own. The fault comes up, and the fault is like, you need to have an engineer do this. Which is great because that costs more money. And then my computer died, which is also great.
Was that when you were streaming? And
yeah,
you said you weren't streaming.
Yeah, so it's been a little iffy. I feel like we have been teetering on a knife edge for maybe about a month now of me going, it'll be fine. I'm sure it's just a driver issue. Every single time I'll just update the drivers and it'll be fine. But then the blue screens were getting far too frequent. The blue screens were getting far too frequent. The errors were all alternate errors and things like that. Nothing made sense, with the exception of every time I looked up an error, it was like, it could be this, it could be this, all of this is different. And then the very last thing was, but it's probably your RAM. And I'm going, but on the plus side, at least it was the RAM and not something like my graphics card or my CPU. The things that are incredibly expensive, at least it wasn't that, and it was just the RAM. So I replaced the RAM and gave it a good dust a couple of days back, reinstalled Windows, and I'm going to knock on wood and say that everything's running absolutely fine now. It occasionally it has a little bit of a stutter, but I just think that's because I've in my haste to like reinstall everything and get everything else all back up and running, that somewhere along the line I fluffed it somewhere. I need like an extra bit of time wherein I'm not panicking about getting things ready for a D&D show or anything like that, and then actually sitting and focusing and just making sure that everything is all nice and smooth in the background and stuff. But aside from that, it seems to be running absolutely fine. So that's been my week as far as like super stress is concerned. Gaming wise, I've played the first of the Telltale Expanse games. Of like the first in the chapter. I've never seen The Expanse. I talk about this quite a lot. My God, am I going to watch The Expanse now? Holy shit, that game is so good. It was beautiful and decadent.
This is something me and Ben have been telling you for how many months?
It's about finding the time though, Colin. So that one, The Expanse is going on my list after Lower Decks. Lower Decks is the next thing to watch, and then it's going to be The Expanse, which means I'll probably get to The Expanse by the time all of the Telltale games have all come out. So I'll have played all of those through, and then get to watch The Expanse, having played these Telltale games. It was traumatic and fantastic and wonderful, which is absolutely everything that you want out of a Telltale game. So good. And then I did that today while we were waiting for the Elite patch, and then we went to see, spoiler alert, other things that were traumatic and excellent and wonderful. But that's been kind of my week in a nutshell. Lots of stress and trauma. Echoed in Elite.
Okay. On that positive note, we'll pop over to Commander Indigo. Would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners and who you are and what you do and what you've been up to for the last week?
Happy to. I bring greetings from Screw Space. From the Loose Screws podcast crew, who were kind enough to accept me a couple of years ago and show me how this game is actually actually so much better played with company. I had played on console for a long time and was just starting to get my feet under me, as it were, and discovered your venerable podcast and this venerable podcast, and got me into running BGS missions for them. So all of a sudden I had reasons to do combat and reasons to do trade other than just enriching myself. And that was the beginning of letting all other video games fall by the wayside, my poor PlayStation. That was also right around the time they announced they weren't going to do console anymore. So I switched over to a PC account and haven't really and I'm thrilled to be here. I really appreciate the invitation. I'm afraid my week hasn't been a whole lot less stressful than Scythes. We had big news. So my wife and I live in an attached townhome with a little postage stamp of a backyard lined up with a bunch of others. And about a week ago, with just a couple days' notice, learned that they were going to be raising it completely, pulling out all the dirt, redoing the grade, basement floods when it rains, stripping out all the bushes, getting rid of all the privacy fences, and over several years we've put in some bushes and hedges and barricades because we have skeevy looky-loo neighbors next door who will, just as a recreation, I'm not really sure, walk out to the sidewalk, look in our back window, and then walk back inside. It's a whole thing. Anyway, we dug up all of our prized plants and packed them onto our tiny little patio, and and we're also marinating in Canadian wildfire smoke, which has also been a fantastic source of conversation over here. And then they came through with the big equipment and stripped everything down and put things back together. And the difference could not be more dramatic. We went from having pretty good privacy on our back porch to like showing up at a garden party with a new haircut that's not great and a long beard and some shorts that are shorter than you thought they were when you pulled them out of the drawer, and a shirt that just doesn't look good either. And record scratch. The whole world is staring right in the back of our house. It's so dramatic that as we've been putting things back together over the long weekend, 3 different sets of people we didn't know said hello from the sidewalk to ask us how we felt about being so exposed.
Wow, that's terrifying. Are your backyards kind of publicly owned? Is that the way it works?
There's a great John Oliver bit from a couple of weeks ago, I think, about homeowners associations in the U.S. It's a nightmare. Ours could be much worse, but things like people losing their home because they didn't move their garbage can and then they didn't pay the $100 a day bill fast enough for it to build up, and there are all these horror stories about people being abused. But yeah, technically everything off patio is common space. So we could, I suppose, theoretically just saunter through all of our neighbors' backyards as well, because it's not technically our backyard.
Just make the patio bigger.
Yeah, right. A little bit.
That's definitely how that works. That's how you spend the claim on land.
All of the land, right?
Just build more land. Build more land for yourself. That's fine. That's entirely how property law works. I should know.
Right. Oh dear.
Yeah, in our case, there's a little exception. Put pavers adjacent to the patio, so we have a patio, and then we have a flower bed around that, and then we push the boundaries of adjacency for those pavers that let us put bigger, taller things. And before long, I'm sure we'll have 30% of the privacy we had before. But that's been the big stressful and physically exhausting adventure when I haven't been finding time to play Elite, which I've done some this week.
That's a good job.
It's
a good job you've got an entire galaxy to escape into after that.
Yeah,
I
right.
must say, I'd be stressed about that.
And it was a buckyball week, so the free time I did have was spent trying to do all kinds of shenanigans faster than I had done them the day before.
Yes. I've missed out on that one. Yeah, we'll pick up on that later, I guess. Okay, let's have a quick think about what I've done this week. I've done a little bit.
Are we going to talk to Alec as well?
Nah, screw me.
We didn't do Alec.
Okay.
Normally we save the host till last.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Colin. But by all means, tell us what you're up to.
Just because I was wanting to mix it up a bit and do a little bit of the order.
I don't believe you. I wish I could believe you, Colin.
Oh, Claire has turned into the Homeowners Association of Lave Radio.
Mate, if I believed for a second that you hadn't got something wrong, it would be fine.
Oh my goodness! You know what, Alec? Just to smooth things over, how about you go next?
Okay, let's stick to convention.
Yeah.
I went to my sister she has an annual fancy dress party. She has quite a nice garden, and
what did you go as?
Aha! Well, it was a Wild West party. That was the theme. So I naturally went as Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name.
Amazing.
So I went to Amazon, and you can buy the Man with No Name's cape. So I bought that for I don't know, 15 quid, 10 quid or something. And I also bought a cowboy hat, the appropriate cowboy hat for the Man with No Name. And then I turned up, and my brother-in-law was wearing the exact same outfit. I mean, he'd clearly gone to exactly the same Amazon store I had and had bought exactly the same outfit. What he hadn't done is manufactured his own cigars from cardboard, so I gave him one of my 2 cigars. So we both then had the full outfit. And then about 10 minutes later, a third Clint Eastwood turned up. And we all laughed a lot and shared lots of drinks late into the night, and it was a lot of fun.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say, and we turned up in fancy dress, but it was a funeral.
Yeah, that would be awkward, wouldn't it? No, no, no. Thankfully not. I've been dabbling a bit more with VR. I've been up and running with Elite and sort of tinkering with settings and getting the performance a bit better. Still a little bit stuttery, but I turned down some. I found an appalling bug, which is that, in fact, there's quite a lot of bugs in Odyssey and VR, which is a shame. But one of them is that if you have your shadows turned up to ultra and you go to an asteroid field, then you better have the migraine pills on standby, because all the asteroids flash on and off. I don't just mean a slightly wobbly shadow. I mean they flash on and off.
Really?
A completely strobing nightmare.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the VR experience I've got with the Dyson plant machine. You run in VR with the plants and diet machine, and it flicks on and off.
Oh,
as
God.
if it's there and for a couple of frames, then it's gone, and then it's there for a couple of frames, and then it's gone.
I
And
did
yeah,
improve it by turning shadows down from ultra to high, and that more or less fixed the asteroid issue that I had. But then I had the same problem at Megaship, so yeah, it's a shame. It's a bit glitchy.
Yeah, well,
but it was cool. I also discovered, it's funny, I went on about this lovely cable I bought to connect my Quest 2 to my PC. And I thought, oh, I'll just try this Airlink thing. You know, I haven't got a fancy modem. I've got quite an old, actually, modem's the wrong word, isn't it? What do you call it these days? Router.
Yes.
That's the word. Yeah, so I thought, oh, I'll just see if this Airlink thing works. And it works brilliantly. So I'm not sure I even needed this cable, to be honest.
It's a bit better than mine then, because my our Wi-Fi does seem to be that slow. I linked it in, hoping to play Beat Saber over the Wi-Fi. No,
Yeah.
not good. No.
Interesting. Okay, I haven't. The only thing I did with the Airlink was I tried Google Earth VR while I was sitting in my living room, and so that may not be very demanding, I guess. I had a puncture. So there's lots of news this week. I had another puncture. People may remember about 3 months ago, I said I've had the first puncture in 35 years of driving a car, or however long it's been. And I've had another one within a flipping month. And it turned out to be like an 8-inch screw right through the middle of my wheel, which was exciting.
Yeah, you've been to a dump then, because they normally happen.
I'm wondering. It's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? I'm hoping some local youth hasn't decided it would be funny to lean nails up against our back wheels on our driveway. But, we'll see.
No, you can't start thinking that, otherwise you're going to end up going completely nuts.
Yeah. So I'm trying not to think that.
But you
I've
are
done some.
anyway.
Well,
Waking up at 5 in the morning, looking out the window to check the garage.
yeah, with binoculars and every single youth that walks past go, "What the hell are you doing? Get away from my car!" No.
Old man turn.
Yeah, I've been doing buckyball racing, but we'll touch on that. What have you been doing this week, Colin? Do tell.
Oh, that's a really good question. I think that's a really great thing to finish this section with.
Oh, you wound up merchants, you. Right. Okay. Well, believe it or not, I'm on a mission to try and lose some weight. And I'm using my VR headset to do this. And I have downloaded the Les Paul VR virtual workout software. And I think I can last about 20 minutes before I just collapse on the floor in a puddle of just horrible sweat. So it does it does its job at making me actually exercise, apart from the 100 miles on the bike that I did last week. So yes, I've been just basically trying to lose the blubber. When I haven't been doing that, I have been playing a little bit of Elite Dangerous. For some reason, I didn't really want to get into all the Thargoid stuff. I just wanted some nice, relaxing experiences. So I've been flying around the galaxy in my Explorer commanders for once, and getting somewhere, which I'm quite happy about. But of course, then today has happened, and I've booted up my commander for my sort of main commander for the first time in almost 2 weeks, and yes, all this stuff is all lined up, ready to go. So I guess we'll be talking about that in a minute. And apart from that, yeah, I've downloaded this game. I think you might have been aware of it called F1 Manager 2023?
It's a good game.
Yeah, me and my son are going to be streaming my pathetic attempts at that, because he is the ultimate F1 nut. It is good God what he knows. And you remember there used to be this football fantasy program, and they had this guy called Stato on it, who could regurgitate stats about football from 20 years ago. Well, my son's turned into that, but for F1. So
I bet you he's a fucking nightmare to live.
No, and Lanzarote, he got his first karting win.
Amazing.
Yeah, he got his first karting win, which was great. So he was actually stood on a podium with a bottle of pretend champagne in a Ferrari t-shirt. The only time Ferrari actually won that day, but yeah. So yes, that's what I've been doing and planning on doing. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Right. So I guess on to the development news. Well, 2 bits of development news. The first bit we'll get over just quite quickly. There was a standalone launcher update. This is the launcher that comes with Elite Dangerous standalone, so it's not Steam, it's not Epic. It wasn't showing the news. It does now, but you had to download it and restart all over again. Done that, works fine. I think there's a little bit of a hoo-ha to begin with, but it settled down quite quickly. And yeah, that came out actually quite quickly after the release, maybe a day and a half, and that was it. It was fixed. So, yep, thumbs up on that one. Okay, right. Who would like to go first about update 16? It dropped this morning at well, basically the computers or the servers went offline at 8 this morning, and they've been upgrading all day. There was about a half an hour delay between 4 and 4:30.
I should say it was exactly a half an hour delay. They went live bang on 4:30. I know this because we had a poll going in the stream as to whether or not when they would get back on, and it was the exactamundo time that won in this instance.
So yeah, so 4:30 was when people all piled in, and they piled into quite a lot. Now, we do have the release notes. There is a lot of release notes, but I will ask every one of you, assuming you've seen these release notes, what's your favourite? So we will start with Commander Scythe.
Right. Okay. So I was a little bit concerned, to be quite honest, when I first thought sort of flicked through the release notes, because I didn't think there was quite as many as I'm normally expecting to see. And also, when you combine that with the fact that the patch was smaller than they have been previously, I was still a tiny bit concerned. I've got a couple of favorites. If you're happy for us to go around like multiple times, if they haven't been picked up, that would be absolutely cracking. My complete and utter favorite, aside from all of the redacted stuff that they've added in, which is great, but my absolute favorite is the Michael Brooks tribute.
Yes,
which is absolutely just fucking phenomenal and the best thing that they could have done, because he 100% deserves so much more than a single beacon. But to get this and have the ship called the Legacy as well is just like everything that they've done about it. I'm really looking forward to going and following this, the first of a series of mini series of Taurus beacons that he's doing. The first of the series being in the beacon in Freeholm, as it says. All of that, I cannot wait to go and like experience that and go and see Brooks' Legacy actually put in the game. I think it's very special, and I'm super happy that Frontier have done that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea.
Yeah,
I think just before the show. It's lovely. It's really nice.
Yeah, I definitely think as soon as everybody actually saw this, everyone just went, "Oh, that is it was so nice." Because
special, I think.
Yeah, very. Well, what would you expect? I mean, this guy put quite a lot in. Well, a phenomenal amount of into this game. We've been talking to Alan Stroud a little over the last couple of weeks he's been on, and yeah, the amount of discussions that he and Michael had about how everything, how the universe all works, and what they were going to put in is astounding. So yeah, he was definitely a tour de force behind the game, and I think once he left the game, and it did feel like that we had lost something a little, and with what's happened later, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, it's just when I saw it, I was so. It was the one bit, because obviously it's the only bit that has a picture with it, so your eye is drawn to the content with imagery as well, and it made me very happy and feel very warm about the whole situation, and that's beautiful.
Definitely. Right, Alec.
Right, I will pick out two. One that's a genuinely nice thing, and one I just liked. My genuinely nice thing. Well, this is one of these.
Pick out one, and we'll go round.
All right, I'll pick out one. Yes. I will pick out Collector Limpets. This remain like similar bug fixes. It remains to be seen whether this is really fixed or fixed until it's spotted that it's not again. But the idea that collector limpets are no longer going to commit suicide by throwing themselves into asteroid surfaces is sounds good to me.
Yeah. Isn't it they will commit suicide less now?
Yes,
it's not
less, indeed, less. But yes, how much less remains to be seen. But I'm hoping it's a fairly generic thing, and it also applies to Titans, because I do tend to lose quite a lot of collector limpets trying to fish bits out of the crevices of the Titans.
I feel it's quite funny that the time that they decided to address, that Frontier decided to address the fact that limpets start hitting things is when their NPCs start to get, like, their important NPCs start to get new limpets.
Now they can get used against us. I got to make sure they work really well.
Yes, exactly. That's
funny that, isn't it? Commander Indigo.
Well,
is there something that
he had taught the first one for gravity or quality or consideration. So I'm going to pick a rare bug that I unfortunately have never encountered, but the description is just so charming that now if you relog into a POI self-trapped inside a container, there's now a panel that you can use to get the container to open so that you can exit. So apparently there was a way that you could log in a POI and find yourself inside a meat locker or a shipping container or something.
Yeah, some I can't remember who it was, but they said today that all you had, like, the only thing that you could do before that happened, instead of like the I'm stuck, please recall me, is before the containers spawned in, just run away.
Brilliant.
So you'd run out of the container before it spawned in, but now they have a button from the inside, which I'd never even considered was a problem.
That's awesome. I could imagine having one of those terrifying, awesome video game moments where you wake up and you're in a black box and you think, oh my gosh, the Thargoids have gotten me or something, and really you're just banging around inside an empty crate on a planet.
I love it. The amount of time I spent at those containers trying to, do my April Fool of filling them with Thargoid stuff. It never occurred to me to lock myself inside, which is, I'm going to have to try it now. That's really funny.
Yeah, I'm getting serious Saw vibes off that. You wake up and you're in a room and you can't get out.
It's an idea. It's something for Scorpius to use in a new Machinima video or something. Something really sinister.
You're in a thing. You're in one of these containers, and then Scorb's face comes on the wall and says, "Do you want to play a game?"
Go on then, Colin. What's your first favourite bug fix?
Well, my favourite fix, and this is fantastic because it means that both Souverine and Ben can finally shut up. they've put in zero-G areas tops on top of the glasses so they look like they're zero-G glasses.
Yes.
So funny. It's so funny because we're now Chris, are you showing them on the stream at the moment?
Yes, I am showing them on stream at the moment.
Incredible. Look at the arrows, look at the Arrow Man ship that is going on right now.
It's high-end graphics that we're deploying on stream at the moment. Though I did want to point out one thing.
Yeah.
Not that I want to upset Ben on his day of victory or anything like that. However, at our regular table at Lave, the one that we reserve for the show every week, we have new cups. However, the barman is currently using old cups.
Oh, the Frontier. You've got like 4 weeks to fix it before Ben gets back.
Oh, but hang on a second. That's okay because it's in Lave Station, isn't it?
It is in the station.
But
yeah,
it has to be in a zero-G environment. If you go to a zero-G environment and all the cups are like that, then Ben will lose his
Chris,
shit.
can you go back to the bar and look at the rack of glasses behind the bar easily? Because I just did this at Michael Brooks's mega ship. Oh, there isn't one. Okay. So on Michael Brooks's mega ship, I think they were all covered glasses, and behind the bar there's an entire rack, and they're all sorts of different types of covered glasses. So yeah, they may be in the clear.
I feel like if as Rocky Star was saying in chat, if there's empty glasses and it just means that they don't have their cups, their lids on them already.
Yes.
Unless there are ones which do have liquid in, and then that might be problematic. Not a Lave, because Lave doesn't matter, because Lave has gravity. Don't you start looking at those cups.
No, look, there's a cocktail glass with a little bit of cocktail, but this has got gravity, so we're proving nothing.
We're fine. There's nothing here to worry about. Continue as you were. They're just adding sippy cups at this point.
Yeah, so basically now that Ben has got his sippy cup, we can expect Souverine to come back. And oh my god, the amount of grief that those two kicked off about this was unbelievable. But yeah. I just glad that we're not going to hear about it anymore, or they will discover something else. One of the two. Okay, we'll go back around to Psychic. Your next one.
Okay, so my next one was definitely going to be the cups because I thought that was hilarious. I don't know that I think there's a lot of good stuff in here. I really do. This stuff that I'm now the extra bits are the redacted bits that I really, really love. There was some things that I've never experienced before, and I'm just like, well, I'm glad they fixed it. You know, if other people are experiencing that. And again, I really like the amount of ticket references that are on there.
Yes.
That just like if I'm doing blanket things that I like about the patch notes, the fact that they are continuing to reference the tickets from the issues that have been raised. It's pretty much exactly what I wanted.
That's good to hear. Back to Indigo.
In terms of significance for Thargoid War, the fact that Thargoid hearts have not glowed when exerted for the last couple of months has been a pretty serious impediment. You can still kill them, but it's a far cry from having a big glowing red target.
Yes.
And we have in fact fixed that, so you can now see bright as day when the Hydra is dying to get shot up. So that's going to make a lot of people a lot more comfortable doing combat for sure.
Excellent. Alec, have you got one?
Yeah,
because I've got one final one, but
yeah, I've got one. I've got one. I mean, there's a few, but I've got a final one. I quite the one that says release fees for impounded ships that are not the player's current ship can now be paid. And actually, if you go to the issue, the nice thing about these links to the issue tracker is you get a bit more detail. I have seen quite a lot of people getting stuck in this situation where, for one reason or another, they end up in prison. They get sent to a prison ship, and it seems incredibly difficult to get their ship back because their ship's impounded and they can't pay the fine. And the issue report that one links to is, my ship is impounded in a location I can't go with shuttles. And so I think this seems like a really good one, because I see a lot of people getting stuck for one reason or another with impounded ships. And there's a couple. There's another one along similar lines, but it sounds like they fixed a nasty little loophole where you can get a bit stuck, which is always good.
Excellent. The one thing that I did want to highlight was there was actually a couple of multi-crew fixes in this.
Yes,
which surprised me, because I thought they'd given up on the multi-crew thing, because the gun and roll in the multi-crew needs a little bit more work, in my opinion. But they have actually made things available, such as the pulse neutralizer, the shutdown field, and they've made the UI for the gunner a little bit easier to use. I might even consider being someone's gunner again, because it was always a pretty, well, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. Because you could just do and use that position far too much. But yeah, I'm glad to see that multi-crew is getting a little bit of attention. But yeah, so overall, content-wise, we're not looking at a Titan here, but we are looking at both the Scythe and what we'll be probably talking about in a bit, I guess.
There was one more little kind of inside baseball thing at first glance that I thought was maybe worth mentioning, but
go on then.
The fact that they've changed the maximum price for fleet carrier markets.
Oh yeah.
An order of magnitude higher now. So anything you're selling on your fleet carrier, before you could sell it to 10 times the galactic mean price, you can now sell it for 100 times the price. I would imagine it will incentivize things like selling caustic tissue samples or some of the other Thargoid related rare goods. Also, though, I guess if you wanted to use it for some kind of community-based fleet transfer, say somebody's won a 4 billion credit tournament prize on foot, or within a squadron, somebody's won a trivia contest and is due to be given 1 billion credits, it will no longer so many back and forth trips.
I'm trying to remember which way. So which way does this go? So you can sell something from your carrier for a huge amount of money. Is that the deal?
You can sell it for 10 times more than you were able to sell it for yesterday.
Okay,
so you could sell a ton of tritium for 1 million credits instead of 100,000 credits.
I guess it's a bit of a shame, because I like the idea of the community prize, but it means you can only give a prize to someone that's got a fleet carrier, effectively. Do you know what I mean? If you want to give someone 1 billion credits,
all you need for it is something like a T9. You park it on someone's fleet carrier, and they sell it to you. They sell you platinum for next to nothing, and then they buy it back from you for a high profit, and you take the remaining cash.
Oh, okay. Because I read this as one way only. Like they made the sell price 100 times more, but not necessarily the buy price. Maybe I have got a fleet carrier.
Yeah, it just says maximum price. It doesn't seem to
cool.
sell or buy. I think their example says we'll be able to sell them at a price, but I would assume it also means that you can buy them at a ridiculously inflated price as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's well, the development news. Yeah, I do have to ask, has anybody here actually come across a Scythe yet?
I've had like an hour in the game, so no, I know folks who have. And it's been really fun. Can I be a little bit of a negative Nancy about one thing?
Certainly. Go
That's on these notes. That's on these notes. Not just like Elite in general, but I'm gonna just sit on my throne about accessibility and stuff for just a moment. And there is something in here. Where is it? It's like shaking while on foot. Where is it? Camera shake now applies to on foot players when using Guardian objects at Thargoid imprint sites. Why? Why fucking bother? Because all it does is it can really hamper people. In fact, just take the camera shake away entirely. You're not going to lose immersion if your camera isn't shaking so that more people can access it. Or like I know there's options to remove it, but people don't know that they exist. Or there's options to make it less. Give us an option to remove it entirely and people will remove it entirely. I know folks who get migraines from shit like that. Doesn't need to be in the game. It's not my immersion though. Fuck off. Anyway, thank you for coming to my accessibility TED talk at this particular moment. Don't worry, I've got other things that I can talk about with accessibility.
Oh boy, your soapbox is getting bigger.
It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off that these should be things that people choose to opt into rather than opt out of, because it does nothing for your game.
No, I'm right with you on that. I mean, don't worry, we'll be getting you a bigger soapbox if they still haven't put more fixes in.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, even since the time when we asked them to make it optional to turn down the sparkly effects on the FSS scanner, and that's never been done, even though it does give people headaches and it could cause seizures and things like that for certain photosensitive people. It just you do sometimes wonder whether or not they listen about these kind of features, which, yeah. Anyway, we will come back to that, no doubt, in future episodes.
The patch is great.
Yeah, the patch. Yeah, it's just one minor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else.
I've ranted about that twice now today. I think I'm at my quota, but it's lovely. It's really, really lovely. I just feel like stuff like that's entirely unnecessary, and if you're getting your ass in your hand about it not being in the game, and other people should have to, people who struggle with it should have to suffer because it's your immersion. Fuck off, you're sat in a chair in front of your computer. It's a video game.
Unless you're in VR and try not to chuck your guts up anyway. Yeah. Right. Let us move on to the community news. Let's have a look at what the community has been creating. Well, first off, we have a video by Space Bear. It's called Infinity Beyond. Who would like to explain what this one's about?
It was just a few of these seem to be popping up every week for me now, and I, whenever I notice that the community section in our show notes is looking a bit threadbare, I throw these in. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's your classic Elite Dangerous sort of 4-minute music video, lovely bit of music and fantastic visuals. I don't know what else to say about it. It's very nicely done, very classy bit of video making. Worth a watch.
It's worth a watch. Okay, so that's Space Bear. We have a link in which will be available in the show notes. Now we also have Elite Dangerous is Cinema by a Commander Indigo. However, it's not this Indigo.
It's not. I didn't choose this because actually, I mean, I suppose I chose it because it was great, and then I thought, oh, and it's Indigo as well. That's great, and he can come on and tell us all about how he made it. But it turns out it's not that Indigo. But it's still another lovely video.
It really is too. It's spectacular. It's as good videography as anybody flying in Elite.
Yeah, it really is. He's clearly got really nice resolution as well, and
yeah, and just the movement, everything about it is first rate. But that was my morning identity crisis, courtesy of Alec Turner, that he had presumed naturally that it was mine and showed me this video that I would be absolutely thrilled to have made. And I don't know, it felt a bit like finding your high school friend who has the career and the home that you thought you wanted when you were a kid, and your life is now so different. So you, wow, that's a really great panning shot, man. I wish I could have done that.
There's so many. I keep seeing like commanders coming back to Elite and doing more videos, or commanders who have been, or people who have been playing other adjacent space games, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna check out this Elite Dangerous as well and see how I get on with it. I'm really bad with names.
Coming on to that,
That's
actually,
it.
Yeah. Foxy Loxy, you mean?
Yeah, Foxy Loxy with their one as well.
I want to touch on that again actually in a minute.
Okay.
There's so much good stuff coming out, and I love seeing people either coming back or starting again, because it's just because other folks aren't doing elite content doesn't mean that the elite content isn't being produced.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's something that living games do and dead games don't. So that right
Imagine
there is a
that.
good refutation, right?
Imagine
Hey,
that.
look, new people are coming and making new, excellent, first-class content.
Speaking of people coming back to things, some people may know that I run. Well, I say run, it's just a forum thread, really. Oh, and a Discord. There's a little thing called the Planetary Circumnavigation Club, which is a private members club for a bunch of absolute nutters who decide it would be a good idea to drive an SRV all the way around a planet.
Yep. Absolute nutters.
We have an incredibly long list now. I forget, but there's a good 40, 50 people, possibly more, that have done this now.
So that's 40 or 50 people who should be in an insane asylum.
Quite possibly. but luckily for us, they're just quietly driving around planets and out of most people's harm's way. So we'll leave them be.
If it keeps them busy, it's fine.
Indeed. And I would like to just welcome on air two new members to that club, Commander Sunni and Commander Ariaxum, who both completed circumnavigations recently and have been awarded their EDSM Planetary Circumnavigation Achievement. Bravo. And also to Caleb Mincola, who's just told me that he's started his own circumnavigation. So yeah, planetary circumnavigation's picking up again.
I thought about you reading through the patch notes today with circumnavigation, because one of the patches that they've cleared is when you log back in, if you're logging back in on foot and you've got an SRV, SRV can move, and that's one of the patch notes.
Can you imagine doing a circumnavigation and you decide to get out and stand next to your SRV for the night, and then you log out and you log back in and your SRV's gone?
Where the hell is your SRV? And then I was like, I wonder if that's ever happened to Alec. And I thought, nah, he's too much into the immersion. He would get into his SRV to sleep, even if he's getting out of the car. So sleeping as in.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't leave myself
what I mean?
on foot, but I do know what you mean.
I was just like, that's really funny.
Excellent. Now, on the subject of fantastic videos, the High Wake has returned with Elite Dangerous co-pilot. Yes, I have to say this is...
This might be my favourite.
Yeah. Is that, well, what can we say? It's the High Wake. We're not going to spoil it. We're going to put a link in. It's up to the usual standards, I think we can all agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Charming. It's absolutely charming.
Yes. So go click on the High Wake and give him a like and subscribe. Yeah. Right. Then we will move on to obviously people who like to move fast. The Double Trouble Buckyball Race. It's been completed. It completed over the weekend, and we have the final results forum post available. And even better, we've got someone who can actually explain it to us all. Alec.
What a bloody fantastic race. I mean, it's been ridiculous. Yeah. You know, this series and the last series, every race, people say that's the best one yet. That's the best one yet. But people are absolutely saying it about this one. It was funny because it had a really verbose forum post, because the idea was, you know, the basic premise was simple. There were 3 systems you had to go, each with a pair of things to visit. But then every one of those had a little bonus you could do. So, you know, you could fly through a tunnel was the mandatory thing, and then the bonus was to flip round and go back through it. Or you could fly through a structure, and then the bonus was to also break open one of those tunnels that's got doors on it and fly through that. Or you could just land at a station, or you could fly around a station. You could have no shields for a bonus. You could land with either less than 10% or more than 90% for a bonus. And the bonuses were quite generous. And basically, everyone just decided to go more or less full bonus, because once you've learnt the course, which is quite simple, you then find yourself thinking, well, I might as well just get rid of my shields and try it. And then you think, I might as well go through that tunnel twice and try it. And so it was very addictive. And so frustrating as well. Today I've been watching blooper reel videos. So a good half dozen or more people that took part have made videos, compilations of all their explosions. So there's a good half dozen videos that are probably each at least 5 minutes long of just explosion after explosion after explosion of ships crashing into things. And what a frustrating but exhilarating race it was.
It's always funny when it happens to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
had a
about
couple
half the
of
time when it
really,
happens to you, I think.
yeah, I had a couple of I was fully planning on doing like a whole day of it on Friday, and then within 11 minutes, my PC had just fried on Friday, so I couldn't do anything. And then the RAM didn't turn up until Saturday, and literally the last bit of time that I had to have any sort of go was a couple of hours on a Sunday afternoon, and just nothing was going in my favor or anything like that. I wanted to do the Okanora baby. I was ready to do breaking and entering and all of that, and then I tried to do. And then I got a fucking fine, and then I had 2 notoriety points, so I had to wait for that to go down, because I couldn't pay off the fine. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a run. It was like 11:15. I'll do a run at 11:15, try and get it done. And then I think I'd done the total recall part, and I think I was heading away from Lancaster Folly or to one of the other places, and I was just like, it's broken. I've messed up so many times already. There's not even any point in doing the run, which is why I think I spawned in after the patch, just outside Lancaster Folly, because I just rage quit.
My absolute last run of the race, it was on it was early Sunday evening. The race finished Sunday midnight, but I was doing stuff later on. And there was, at the time, there was only 5 seconds between me and the 2 above me. So I could effectively jump 2 places up the leaderboard if I could just go 5 seconds faster. And not only that, I could get into 3rd place if I could just go 5 seconds faster. So I was so desperate. I knew I could do better. Knew I could do it. So I had this incredible run where you know in your heart, I wasn't using live split, but I was thinking, this is faster. This is definitely faster. And I literally crashed into the finish line station. I sort of had a drift on the Cobra, and I just drifted into the toast rack. So that was my penultimate run. So then I've got about half an hour left before I need to quit. So I'm thinking I can do just one more. All I need to do is what I just did, but not crash at the end. So I head off, and it's going really well. So one of the installations about halfway through the week started picking up scenarios, a pirate attack scenario.
Oh,
right. Really did. It really did.
Yeah. So I'd been following in Super Cruise, I think it was Ackenbosch, and Ackenbosch must have got there just before me and triggered the pirate scenario. So then he's fast, he's zipped through it and he's gone, but the pirate scenario is now kicking off big time just as I arrive. So I'm under attack from the minute I get there. And so by the time I manage to get out of there, I'm on 70% hull, which is really bad because I'm in a shieldless Cobra and I need all my hull to smash the 2 doors open with my nose. So then I get to the next location, which is the long tunnel that you fly through, and then you flip and fly back through it for the bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a slow, shieldless Cobra on 70%, desperate not to lose a single % more hull. I'm halfway through the tunnel, and Shay Blackwood comes screaming past me inside the tunnel in a Viper. And then, because you go through the tunnel and then you flip and you go back through it, he obviously beats me out of the tunnel, and then I flip, and I'm just about to go back through it again, and he screams past me again, goes into the tunnel, explodes in the middle of the tunnel. So I then have to fly through his explosion,
Oh my God.
not being able to see anything except bits of Viper wreckage and flames. And somehow I managed to fly through the tunnel. It was the most exhilarating buckyball run I've ever had. And I made it all the way to the end, and I landed, and it felt really good. And the only downside to that story is when I checked my time, it was actually about 20 seconds slower than my personal best. But
It's because you were so rattled.
it was such a thrill ride. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, this is the first buckyball which I've seen a different commander at position 1 in quite a while.
Indeed, command. We have so in regulation in third place it's Brusky. In second place, Osric, who's always a fierce competitor in regulation. He loves his regulation class. But in first place in regulation, we have Skur. Skur's been around buckyball and sort of racing a lot, and is fast. I mean, the only reason we don't see him more is because I don't think always gets to play as much as Shay. But Skur is incredibly fast. He's one of these sort of natural flyers that's just when he manages to get a go, it's going to be good. So yeah, in regulation he managed to go round in 26 minutes 50, so with an adjusted time of 1 minute 52, his final time.
That is phenomenal. Just
it really is. Yeah,
go
it really
on.
is.
I'm quite proud of myself because I'm just looking at it now, and I think I'm potentially the only one out of I'm the highest person with the fastest time who didn't do every single bonus. So I'm quite happy about that. I will rest on my laurels on that one.
Bravo.
So yeah, happy with that. That'll do. That'll do. Really pissed off that I didn't start the week doing all of it now, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit, I couldn't face it. I just wanted something cozy and nice to do instead of doing something adrenaline filled.
Yeah, I'm afraid my nerves were shot at the end of Sunday night. So yeah, it was not a relaxing race, that's for sure.
Yeah, cozy
really
was not the word for it. I was thrilled to be right smack dab in the middle of the standings, and my hands were shaking when I put down my courier with 0% hull, and managed to hold it together by, I think, holding my breath and keeping my knees together until it finally touched down.
Amazing.
Should have been a
It's
special bonus.
always a good club to join, yeah.
Oh, just ahead of Psychic and the regulation Cobra.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Had I done Okanora Baby and breaking an entry would be a different story. But I didn't get the opportunity to do so, which was real friggin' annoying, PC. Could you have broken the end of this week when I'm not doing anything? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really angry at my computer, but the next buckyball race will be nice and cozy for you, Colin. That's I know Pareco's never stressful.
Never stressful at all. No.
Pareco's nice and simple. It's just a nice little jaunt. You don't even need to jump through systems. It's fine.
Alec, have you ever thought of actually doing genuine buckyball side-by-side races where people actually start at the same time in the same instance and see how they do?
Well, yeah, we're just getting into the idea of doing some live races. So we had the event I talked about last week, which was a bit of SRV racing around ships. But I think Pareco is an obvious one. I think we will try and have a live event either at the beginning or end of Pareco, one of the weekends.
Just to silly everybody in Regulation Cobra and see how we all do.
Yeah, because
invite some people to come along and shoot video of.
Yeah, I mean, for people that don't know, Pareco is 6 stations in very close orbit, and you're just zooming in and out of each station as fast as you can, really. So there's lots of going through mail slots, which couldn't possibly go wrong if lots of people were doing it live.
For sure, it's not going to be a cluster at all, and all of those times will be accepted and not looked at all in the slightest.
And of course, well, if there's an accidental weapon fire on that one, I guess that could be acceptable.
Not with the Cobra, there won't be, because you won't have weapons.
I thought we had weapons on the Regulation Cobra.
Nope, that was last year.
They were optional. Right. They were optional for this race. You could put them back on to blow the tunnel doors open. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors open.
Ah dear. Yes. So we have it was a fantastic buckyball. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I have enjoyed Alec's videos.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. The thing I described, my adventure, I did actually make a video of it, so we should probably link that as well.
Yeah. In addition, though, not only has Buckyball been fun for a lot of people, it's actually ignited other people's love for the game.
It has. Can I talk to this, Colin? Actually, because
I was just about to hand over to you.
Sorry.
Because Commander Homburger turns up in my stream when I'm doing streaming quite a lot, so I just wanted to say it's very nice to see him back. But I'll hand over to Alec.
Yeah, it's lovely. We mentioned Foxy Loxy, who was the guy who has come to Elite from Star Citizen and has been making his videos. He's very prolific. There's a video coming out every day, and I'm watching them all. What is lovely is not just the videos themselves and his sort of super enthusiastic, completely innocent kind of wide-eyed wonder at everything, and he's just buying weapons and looking at ships and flying to in Empire space to get rank, and he's just gobbling it all up. He's loving it. It's brilliant. But what's really nice is the reaction, both on the forum and in the comments, to this. And it's what we've said on the show, but just I think a lot of people who've been around the game a long time are just finding it very reinvigorating, seeing someone see it all with fresh eyes and being reminded how amazing it all is. All the stuff that we've got very used to. Seeing somebody experience it all for the first time reminds you. Which sort of brings me on to Homburger's post. Homburger's been maintaining a blog. He covers all sorts of things, but he covers buckyball races. Really nice blog posts, and I love this one. It's called Reignition. The title, it's a nice sort of racing theme. The idea of igniting your thrusters and setting off, but really it's about how he stopped playing after the last buckyball. Sort of found himself drifting away from the game, and he sort of stopped playing. And then because he was doing the blog, he wanted to. He sort of made himself take part in the race so that he could blog about it. And he had a moment when he was so one of the obstacles is you have to do this loop around the station, and you have to fly around a habitation ring. So he's flying around a habitation ring, and he's sort of being reminded again of how brilliant it is to fly a spaceship and how they feel and move and have their unique personalities. And he's looping around and looking up at the habitation ring as he's going round. And it just completely sort of reignited his love of the game. So he's written this really lovely blog post that we will link in the show notes. But if you will indulge me, I wouldn't mind just reading a paragraph just to give people a sense of it, because I think it's lovely writing and it's lovely stuff about this game that we like. So he says, this game, it is so beautiful, exhilarating, and full of awe. The way we can fly, the way our ships behave, the way each ship has a personality of its very own, the things we can do, and the community that is the web that binds us all together, the things that this community creates for us to do. Every moment of sheer joy that I've had interacting with this remarkable jungle of code, hyperspace jumping for the first time, splitting an asteroid to reveal the core, watching the deep red sunrise in a bright pink sky in an oxygen atmosphere, getting caught by and then totally hypnotized by the way the light bends around a black hole, discovering my very first discovered world. All this I had done and loved, and yet there is still so much more I have yet to experience in this marvelous game. Nice stuff.
I got a little bit moist of eye listening to that.
It's beautiful, and it's a very long post that goes into the race, but also goes into a lot more about his feelings about the game. It's great stuff.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
inspirational.
I think we all get at some point jaded and a bit bored or lost when playing this game, and sometimes it is best to take a break, walk away, and then come back to it. And when you do come back to it, you suddenly it does feel like it's hit you all again, because you see all this this stuff again for the first time, and it's it reminds me of a Doctor Who quote where a companion asked the Doctor, "Why do you bring me along? Why do you bring me along when you've seen all this and you know all this fantastic stuff?" And he goes, "Because I've seen it that much, I've forgotten what it's like. When I see somebody else see it for the first time, I then remember and appreciate how wonderful it is." And that's the kind of thing that I'm getting from both Homburger's kind of blog post and also Foxy Loxy's appreciation of the game, and also going back to all the way to other streamers who have been doing it for the first time and just sort of and like I've said before, there's a whole load of new people coming into the game, and they're looking at Odyssey and the results that the reviews that Odyssey has got and going, why is this marked down so badly? And then you have to explain the whole thing of, oh yeah, when it launched it was rubbish, but now they've done a No Man's Sky on it and it's vastly improved to what it was. But
I really enjoy the juxtaposition of you saying, why is it marked down so badly, and the imagery that I could then see on stream of like people halfway off a balcony. There's something really comedic about us being so talking about how beautiful and wonderful this game is, because I'm not denying that this game is beautiful and wonderful, but there were people halfway through walls.
there's graphic timing for you, isn't it?
I just love it so much. That it's like, that's the joy that Elite gives me.
Pay no attention to the people on the balcony.
I mean, it is tough.
Finally off the balcony.
One of the things I think that makes so much of this stuff possible for people like us to put what might seem like unreasonable amounts of passion and commitment and attention and curiosity into this game is that there's something about it, the sort of fundamental integrity. And I think it has to do with the way the physical models work. I mean, a lot of the time, just flying a spaceship is one of the best things to do in this game. And the ways that they've managed to weave it together into a sort of physical tapestry that may, what you learn doing deep core mining a year later turns out to be incredibly useful when you're fighting Thargoid interceptors. And, lessons from one place translate to someplace else because it is connected and consistent. It's not a bunch of stitched together mini games.
Yeah.
And there are things that we wish it had that it doesn't in some cases, because they have generally leaned into that integrity as opposed to giving us something gee whiz option. But it's a little tricky when Odyssey is involved, because that is kind of what they did. And so I just try and treat it with some whimsy, and say, oh, it's great in this game. We love that people spawn in the middle of the floor, and there are cardboard magnetic pizza boxes somehow stuck to the floor in a zero gravity station. And at least we have sippy cups now. It's probably good for us in the long run that it gives us something to laugh about in the empty space and unexplored territory. And
I'm sorry, this mega ship that Chris is running around at the moment, it looks like it's been halfway through the Philadelphia experiment, hasn't it?
This is so funny. My face hurts.
Yeah, there was us gushing about how good the game is.
It was the juxtaposition. I had to point it out. It's just, don't get me wrong, Elite is beautiful and incredible and an absolute masterpiece, but this is so fucking funny.
I'm sorry, that girl there who sat on the seat just wrong, that would bring tears to your eyes. It's just...
She's got such good posture. Look at the way she leans back on nothing.
Oh dear. Yeah, as hashtag this game. Yeah, there you go.
TFG, as we say in Loose Screw Space. TFG.
Oh my god.
We love it. Most of the time.
That brings us to the end of the community news for the moment. If you have a community event which is taking place soon and would like to shout about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email info@laveradio.com. Incidentally, one of the things that I would like to put into the community section is that what with ECM and the Burr Pit thing coming up, I was checking over the Elite Miniatures game, and apart from one set of counters which I've got to reprint, we're all ready to go.
Amazing.
So, what I'm going to ask is, I'm going to be putting up a form soon to try and. I think I'll be able to get about 4 or 5 games in per day. So if you want to play, then I'll be putting up a form quite soon to for people to line up. I think I can do about 4 to 5 people per turn. So, yeah. Right. Can we have a small amount of adverts?
I need to like make my face feel better. Jesus.
Yeah. Psychic needs to recover. So we'd like a small amount of adverts, please, Mr. Expert.
New from Azimuth Biotech, it's Tickle Me Thargoid. Tickle Me Thargoid is fun for all the family. Teach your little anti-Xeno commander the difference between an Orthrus and a Cyclops, a Basilisk and a Medusa.
Count the hearts.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Cyclops.
Teach them their weakness and how to exploit them.
Now rip out the hearts. One by one.
I don't want to.
Do it. Using the tool. Do it. Now stomp on its face. Smash its face in.
I've got them.
Tickle Me Thargoid, available now from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers.
Oi, how you doing, my brother? So you run some data and you left your little sidey and you're starting to think about maybe a ship that can punch a little bit harder. Well, the Killback, the one with the little flappy wings, is just what the doctor ordered. It is multi-crew enabled and is the smallest ship with a fighter bay, so you can point and they will do your bidding. Ha! It's got 3 utility mounts, 2 small and 2 medium hard points, plus a whole batch of compartments. So if you want a bit of fun, grab a Killback, my son.
Listen here, ladies. While your man is out and about bringing home the bacon, you need to make sure you look your best. Which is why we present to you our Lady Shave. It's small enough to fit into your dainty lady hands and releases a perfumed scent as you cut away that ghastly body hair.
Listen here, ladies. Say no to substandard shaving. At Saracen, we believe a woman deserves a shave as good as a man's. Introducing the Panther Clipper. For women. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. And now, it's available in pink. A shave so smooth you'll need a tighter Dominator suit. The new Panther Clipper Lady Shave from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for. In pink.
You want a working classic? Built stronger to last longer? A ship that'll go on and on, with no dangling wires? Jump across the black, halt at every station, and when the Goids come close, we got some firepower too. Like on Spaceways, engineered and mechanically designed to stay on the job. Put a Lakon on your payroll.
There's bargains, bargains, bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave business directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
And welcome back. So, what in-game events have been happening this week? Well, there are 3, of which one we'll talk about later. But on Thursday, the 27th of July, the Dedicant quest actually yielded some results. Now, this is the actual write-up of the little mini quest that we had the previous week to find out what had happened to the megaship, and yeah, so.
So it was really relatively quick between dropping that little tidbit of information and then giving the results, because the results fully spoil the systems that you can go to go and find the things, which now kind of makes sense, and I can understand why they would post them there based on today's events. But at the time, I was like, why are they spoiling this so quickly? Why are they not allowing people to work it out anymore?
Yeah.
Can I ask, Claire? Because I was so busy practicing and buckyballing that I haven't done any of this. Given what I can see in this Galnet article, is it worth going to those intermediate systems if I'm not particularly fussed about doing the code breaking?
Not unless you want one extra million. No, I don't think it's worth doing.
No,
I mean,
not
I
now.
would
You
go to
have
the end. I would go to hit 19912, I guess. But is it worth going to like Wuniers and Ollerung and Quackimo?
Not really, because that's the things where that's telling you. Those are the only things that you get from there are bits and pieces of the scrambled message, which has been revealed, and the clues to the next spot, which are all sort of like listed in the answers. So it might be fun to just go and do it, and then you can figure out where you've gone. Maybe you can figure out where you've gone wrong with some of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you've got the answers to then move to the next thing, and you can use that to your favor. But you've got everything that you need from this. The one thing that you don't get, and I believe this is still the case, if you went and did this in that week, you then got a message today. I don't think you got a message today if you didn't do this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Have you logged in post the update, Alec?
Yes.
Did you get a message?
No, but I haven't done any of this yet.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I was just double checking whether that was true. I had it confirmed from a couple of people. I just wanted another confirmation of it.
Yeah, well, I did it, and yes, I got the message when I first logged in.
Same.
So yes, you would have had to have got the million credits in order to get the follow-on message, which was fine. The other thing that happened this week was there was on the 28th, there was the Thargoid War update from Vox Galactica, effectively saying that, well, at the moment, things are stalemated. It's been hard to keep up with the pace, and sometimes the news the speed of news is out pacing our ability to report it. But it does mean that at the moment the naval forces are actually containing the Thargoids and in some cases pushing them back. However, they did drop a hint that there is so little that we know about the Thargoids. Goodness knows what will happen next.
Well, well, they didn't just say that. The one thing that stuck out more than anything on that article was, hey, people are reporting that they're eating more people. Like they're yoinking more cargo, more occupied escape pods.
Yeah.
So that might be troubling. And then when you sit that on top of the drops that, or the information that Elite Dangerous Partners were able to share on Friday with the imagery of the Scythes picking up like a metric butt ton of escape pods, then concerns.
Very, very concerned. Yeah, and they did mention that the Azimuth Biotech being creating new weapons, but they also acknowledge that Aegis is definitely in the lead with both public sentiment and government support, as opposed to this time last year. So
It will be
yeah,
hard for them to have any less support than they did this time last year, to be fair.
it's very, very underplayed. Yes. So now, obviously, with the release, something big has happened today, and we will talk about that later on. Yeah, there is. We will also be showing some stuff that we've got with the Scythe in later on in the show as well. I guess it's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
Excellent, and welcome back. Now there is a fantastic new addition to the store. So just allow me this. I'm going to say it's hoodies, hoodie, yum yum. So we now have the Nomad gear set. This is for our commanders to walk about in, if we want to look basically, well, like a bunch of people with asbos.
Nah, I like it. You look like Mysterio with a hood. It's shiny.
That's who I was trying to think of. Yes, Mysterio. So yeah, we've got the Nomad gear set, which is added to the store, and as with these gear sets, they're all interchangeable. So you can take, say, the trousers from it and mix and match it with other sets and things like that. So they do have a nice set of colors: purple, brown, and green amongst them. Yeah, I must admit, I could be tempted here.
They're a bit different, aren't they?
Yeah, but so yay or nay, Psychic?
Very, very tentative. Like, kind of. I would kind of like them. They're pretty cool. I love the purple hood. I love the purple hood. I don't know if I like the purple hood for £10, which would be effectively the only reason I'm buying that set. Do you know what I mean? Do I like the purple hood £10 worth, or do I prefer the pink splatter that I currently have running over my helmet with the retro thing over the top of it? I think I prefer the retro thing. So maybe on a Christmas sale, I might buy that.
Do
you know what I mean?
I'm just looking at the face helmets. Is that completely reflective?
I hope so.
Looks like
Yeah, it looks like a spherical mirror. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to screenshots of amazing things reflected in these helmets.
Oh yeah, that's
For group selfies, huddled in around somebody. Shot off of
Fingers
somebody's
crossed.
pocket.
Fingers crossed it's not generic. You know the game City Skylines. I don't know if any of you have played City Skylines, but when you get a lot of buildings in a row with a reflective surface, they reflect a city that doesn't exist. And I hope that this isn't the case for these.
Looking at the preview images, it seems like they've gone out of their way to make it clear that's not the case.
I hope so.
The individual color ones, there's a different planetary surface you can see reflecting in each visor. And in the one with them standing together, you can see looks like a binary star, and one of them maybe even has someone's shadow reflecting in it. So hopefully proper spherical mirror reflections would be a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that is the case, because I'm normally pretty good at that. So it did, when I first saw it, it did give me waves of fear though.
You're just gonna have an airbrushed planetscape on everybody's face.
Yeah.
I must admit, I mean, I haven't bought something from the store for quite a while. I think I'm due. I think I'm due a new set of suits, and I think, to be honest, out of all the ones that have been out lately, I think this is the set that I'm going to be quite happy with. So I will be, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I
I'm
will.
with you, Colin. Actually, I actually reached for my arcs today. Turns out I've only got 800 left, so I'm gonna buy some. But I saw some stories of somebody else buying some arcs, and then all their money disappeared, and they didn't get any. So I thought
Yeah.
maybe I will wait until after patch day to buy my arcs.
Maybe that might be worth it.
Was today. Our second tech was buying arcs during the update and didn't get his arcs credited to him. It's in support at the moment. We'll let you know.
Buy your orcs during the update.
No, I have to say on this Nomad Gear set that the Burr Pit crew are leaping up. They've been leaping up and down, screaming in their Discord for about 3 hours now. They like these a lot.
Yeah,
they were
basically-
featured. They were featured on the last preview, very with a caveat of on the last preview things that we got with the person driving around in the SRV shooting at the revenants in the Scorpion and shooting at the revenants. They did the flick down and they had one of these HUDs on.
Right, because I got the sense that people expected this to be coming, and whether it was a content creator's thing or whether it was just something I'd missed, but yeah, I got the sense that people were expecting these.
I remember having a full DM conversation with the Burkett going, HUDs, is this a new outfit? Is this something? And then it didn't come to fruition. So I can appreciate why they're excited about it, because we've been sat waiting for this for a really long time now.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of money, though, isn't it? You could buy a real hood for that. Well, I'll tell you for a fact, you can buy a Clint Eastwood Man with No Name cape for that much money.
Is that how much they are? It's quite expensive, these ones.
It's called a poncho. It's the 16250. However much like your normal, most of your the suit options are about 16250 arcs because of how many different variations that you get within it as well. There's a lot more to it because it can go over all three of your suits as well. It's not just a kit or a skin for one ship. So effectively I feel like I'm making a sales pitch, but effectively you are getting more of a bang for your buck with these things. I just don't know if I want to spend £10 on one purple HUD at the moment. Maybe in a couple of months.
You also could just earn them. I was just doing some quick back of the envelope math and following some. I think you could have them by May or June of next year. So you can save your money and just earn up all the arcs. 400 a week, I think it is. Comes out to about 40 weeks. So
also with Christmas, when we get the Christmas arcs as
there
well.
you go.
And also maybe there'll be a January sale. So by that point in January, we'll be able to get it.
The Christmas thing where you get more each day. Yeah.
Yeah. So we might be able to get it in the January sales.
Right. The Christmas bonus.
Amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to be
stupid
enough to buy that. Yes, I'm going to be stupid enough to buy them. I think.
I mean, when you consider cosmetics for other games.
Oh, good grief!
It's not too bad.
When you consider the cosmetics for other games, Elite Dangerous again is quite good value for money.
For sure, 100% agree.
I think they're gonna sell a lot of these. I'm a sucker for a space blanket. It's such a low tech object that shows up in space games. And this one, the way if you have them, all enabled at the same time, there are enough bits that appear and disappear. You could even have the kind of Grand Tartan thing going on. It's all one blanket that goes from your left knee to the top of your hood and wraps around. And then obviously the fresh bowl on top is gonna make a lot of friends.
I mean, Alec does know that the space cowboy poncho spacesuit is already in the game.
That is true. That is true. You
Yeah.
can live out your Clint Eastwood fantasy.
Yeah, that is true.
How much of this can you combine with the poncho?
See, I quite like it's the mirrored
Probably
it's
the
the mirrored
skirt.
helmet that has me intrigued for the screenshot potential.
If you could do the mirrored helmet with the cowboy hat, that'd be sexy. You definitely will not be able to do that. But if you could, that'd be good.
Why do you say that? The hat's
Because it's a one piece, isn't it? The hat is
I
just a
see.
single piece. So
I
it wouldn't
see.
be.
You're saying the hood comes with the shiny.
I think the hood and the shiny are all one piece and they all go together. I'm pretty sure I get either the splatter on my helmet or I get the retro helmet. I don't get one or the other. Thinking about it now, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't think you can. I think it's just the one.
Okay.
The one item for that.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, save sex. Put a hat on your splatter.
Put a hat on your splatter. That's the way to do it. Oh no. Oh no, that really hurts me. Physically, I don't like it at all in the slightest. How about we come? Are we in a position, Chris, to be able to show the information about the size that we have?
Yes, we can. Are you wanting to go with the video?
Yeah, go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, pilots of the galaxy, prepare yourselves for the most sinister and enigmatic hunter-class vessel to ever emerge from the depths of space. Introducing the Scythe, the latest terror of the Fargoid fleet in Update 16. Now, I know you've encountered the Glaive from Update 15, but let me tell you, the Scythe is an entirely different beast. A breed apart from the norm. Its purpose, its intent, shrouded in mystery. When the Scythe appears on your radar, you'll need to be sharp, pilots. Understanding its target selection is key to surviving its relentless pursuit. It ain't your regular combat vessel, oh no. This vessel dances to a tune only the Fargoids know. But wait, there's more. Not only does the Scythe boast an arsenal of tools we know too well, but it's equipped with brand new weapons, designed to strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest commanders. What exactly is its purpose, you ask? Brace yourselves, dear listeners, for it is unlike anything you've seen before. The Scythe has a singular sinister objective, and you, my friends, will bear witness to it in Update 16. Join our expert pilots and learn the secrets of battling the Scythe. Together, we'll uncover its chilling mysteries and reveal its weaknesses. So gear up, get ready, and brace yourself for the ultimate challenge. Update 16 brings with it a relentless adversary. But remember, you're not alone in this fight. Tune in, fellow commanders, and equip yourselves with knowledge and courage. Fight for humanity, and let's show the Scythe what we're made of. The Scythe is coming, and the Fargoids won't know what hit them. Don't miss this epic showdown. Update 16. It's survival of the fittest, and we know you've got what it takes. Brought to you by Lave Radio Network. United we stand, divided they'll fall. Stay tuned and fly safe out there, commanders.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely
So cool.
blinking amazing. I love you. I love you very much, Chris. That's incredible. Folks, Colin's had to step away for a second, so we're going to talk a little bit about the hoods being one thing that you can. We've had it confirmed that the hoods are definitely only one thing, so you can't put the hood on and then take the hood off, or you can't put a hat onto a reflective thing, which is what we were looking for. Chris has gone and done the thing where he's confirmed it for me. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate.
You're welcome.
Amazing. We're going to talk about the Scythe a little bit. As three people who have not come across the Scythe as of yet, which feels a little bit problematic. But got a little bit of
In the
third party
3 hours
information.
since the game's been turned back
Yeah,
on?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I went straight to where the Dedicant stuff was because that was the stuff that interested me the most. Because that tasty, tasty lore, you can plug it to my veins. But I suppose the Scythes would be lore as well.
Does anyone know where we can find these things? Like Indigo, you were saying you caught some on stream. So is it random or are there places we can go to find scythes?
I have no idea, and I'm
I
not
have
ashamed to
a-
admit that.
I have a little bit of information about that coming from Apaphis, who says that in his one encounter with them so far, they behave quite differently to the others. He would suggest having some escape pods in your cargo when you do. He has found them in combat aftermath sites, but one ship pulled... one of them pulled him over while he was on the way back to his carrier in non-Thargoid controlled space.
Ooh. So they're Thargoid pirates.
Yeah.
So they're straying outside of their controlled space to get our escape pods.
I've also heard that the limpets that they have can also be hatchbreaker limpets. Am I incorrect in saying that? Can either of you confirm that?
I don't know if they are the. I do know that they have something that acts as a hatchbreaker limpet. It's probably the same
Yeah.
thing. But if you have them in your hold, they will do their best to hack their way in and
What I find
go for
sort of
escape pods, which is so strange.
yeah, what I find slightly funny about this is that we, as commanders, we don't normally fly around with our ships full of occupied escape pods, but because this looks fun, ironically, we are now all going to start flying around with our ships full of occupied escape pods, hoping we get interdicted so that we can see this amazing thing.
I feel like vindicated in having 150 escape pods in my fleet carrier at the moment.
Oh, nice.
I don't know whether or not that's the exact figure, but there was someone came into my chat today and was like, "Oh, I'm really happy that I've got 65 escape pods," and I was like, "Those are rookie numbers, son. On you go."
Which you can now sell for
so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
I have a whole bunch too,
Metal Marrow in chat says you need to be in Thargoid-controlled systems or adjacent ones. If you are carrying escape pods, they will interdict you.
So they actually are Thargoid pirates then?
So they have this red pulse as well that goes out, which I haven't seen from any other Thargoid. Shane, my mate, you're not in an escape pod, so you're fine. I'm not going to kill you and put you in an escape pod. You're all right.
He's lying. You will be in trouble. You know that bit in Battlestar Galactica where they put the people into pods and they turn.
Actively, no, I don't.
That's Scythes carrier.
God damn it! I thought that was an original idea. They've got this red pulse. I'm genuinely curious if they only go for the occupied escape pods and not the other types of escape pods. So they have to have there's the occupied escape pods, and then there's a damaged escape pod, and then there's the one that's empty or something.
Well, there's an easy way to test that.
I'm desperate to test that. That's like on my next list of.
Oh, hang on!
things to
You've
do.
missed one. You've missed one out of the equation, Psychic. So
What's that?
we've got occupied escape pods, unoccupied,
And damaged.
Damaged. Also, take some slaves so we can test free floating humans.
If you, I don't know of a way to.
Can we not eject
no,
slaves?
just eject
Yes, you can
slaves.
eject slaves.
Yeah, you can.
That's a really good idea.
Will they take free floating humans, or do they have to be?
Will they just take them in their
Or are they
canisters?
fussy? They only like them if they're sealed fresh consumption.
Because you've got imperial slaves and you've got unregistered slaves. So this.
I mean,
This
come on,
is
let's face
so
it. If you saw a
dark.
sausage lying on the ground, you wouldn't eat it. But if it was packaged, you might risk it.
So basically, you're seeing a Big Mac on the floor. If it's on the floor all spread out, you don't touch it. If it's still in its carton.
Oh my God, this is really dark, and I love it. I'm proud of you all, but so the idea is we've got to get damaged, occupied, unoccupied, and then just slaves. I wonder if they've got a taster imperial slaves as well. Whether it has to be an imperial slave or it can be a normal slave.
Well, imperial slaves are supposed to be better, the better quality of slave, aren't they?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm
I mean,
really troubled by this.
There's been this quiet background saga of escape pods since HIP 22460, I think. After
Yeah.
that update, all of a sudden anybody you killed popped out in an escape pod. And I have hundreds of them on my fleet carrier after of productive days working the hot Jupiter POI. And all of a sudden now, you blow up one little beluga and you've got 30 escape pods floating out. And I can absolutely see someone 8 months ago, 12 months ago, outlining how people were going to be using escape pods as an important tool to fight the war, because earlier on that was what it was going to be before the little kerfuffle with tissue samples
Yeah.
clearly don't care about. And I can see somebody saying, we're going to introduce a mechanic where you go in and you rescue people, and then you can use those to turn systems back. And then the Thargoids are going to figure it out, and they're going to start doing piracy and trying to steal them back. But that part, I think, hasn't really happened, again, mostly because of the tissue sample thing. So now it's going to be more like people will gravitate back toward picking up escape pods, but mostly so that they can then
Feed
use
them and then study. Yeah.
fishing for Scythes and maybe sell them to people who don't want to go find their own. Or it's you can see how game developers plan out value structures and chains of event to try and steer player behavior over long periods of time it takes to develop something. And sometimes there's continuity, and other times it's like, no, we're going to go hunting for escape pods so that we can go Thargoid fishing.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Well, I'm hoping this goes hand in hand, that the escape pods, the sampling is dialed down a bit, so
I
that
hope so.
not a lot, but enough so that the evasion systems start coming up again.
For sure.
We've got far too good at stopping the alerts thanks to that. So fingers crossed. So I mean that's Scythe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing and tangling with one. I've got my asp and my Crate Mark II ready to take him on. So bring it on.
They've got the pinsy hands at the front. They're gonna be real scary.
Yes, they will be. They should be real scary.
And this is only the second one as well. If they go in fours, like the Interceptors did, if they go in fours, we're fucked.
Where's your? It's not. It's basically we've got more targets of opportunity.
Let me know how many. I tell you what. Next time, once you've gone and found one, let me know how many of your asps you get handed to you.
We'll see. Yes. Right. So obviously the Scythe is something to tangle with, which I'm really looking forward to. Now, this is the other thing. Now, me and Alec haven't been involved in this yet. I know that you two have. So what we're going to do is, if you do not want to hear about the Dedicant, then consider this a spoiler warning, because we're going to go into it with a little bit of detail now for about 5-10 minutes. So, go put a cup of tea on or something like that, or coffee if you're in the States, and we'll get back to you. So, the Dedicant has been found.
Oh my god!
And you guys said there's some audio logs there.
Yeah.
And
many.
And it's scary.
It's a major production.
Yeah.
Wear your waterproof Magnapants.
It's not it. How to describe it? How to describe it without? I don't want to go into too much detail, because I think this is one which is incredibly important for people to listen to firsthand, because it is voice acted immaculately. There's 5 different voices. I'll say there's 5 different primary voices that you will hear. I feel like that's a better way to describe it. The 5 different primary voices you will hear. I believe there are 10 points to scan on the Dedicant. So each of these voices have a part 1 and a part 2.
Right.
I would obviously we're in Thargoid space, so I ended up dropping in, scanning a few, hopping back out when I did not take the correct ship to go and do this, but hopping back out and then hopping back in. I would advise maybe taking a Titan ship.
I was going to say, what is a good ship coming cold?
Yeah,
Titan ship.
I would say a Titan ship. However, I got a message from husband, I believe. Was it husband a second ago? He got the messages from the Dedicant. However, the Thargoids still saw them at 13% heat.
Whoa.
So I mean, like science it out if you want. But there were 10 logs to go and get. It's like each one of them is kind of like the part 1 is a build up, and the part 2 is they're all like little mini arcs of things that are happening. There's two are crew. Crew of the Alpha Squadron and people like that. So the Federation escorts, and then 3 are Fargod cultists.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably the information I will get. There is some regret, there is some fear, there are some background noises that I can still hear the more I think about it. It is incredibly traumatic in some instances and beautiful in other places. And I've seen so many people just tweeting like random lines from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's genuine intrigue and new dimensions to story possibilities that was before. It's either a really good idea or a terrible idea to watch it in a darkened room with good headphones on. Depending on your character and constitution, it excuse me, has the potential to be a either meaningful or traumatic game experience. But it seems very, very well crafted and yeah, pleasant to see that the Fargod cult has not just been a throwaway joke tossed to the corners of the galaxy.
It reminded me. Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of the. I'm gonna forget their names again, and Katie told me them earlier. The 2 Fargod bases.
Oh yeah.
In the abandoned bases.
The planet ones.
Yeah. Because they have like logs from different people as well, and it really harked back to that, but also modernized it for the current scenario and everything that's going on. And there are things that there's little bits of nuance within the writing and historical things that the narrative team are picking up, like little tiny drips and draps here and there that are picking up story beats from years ago that they're still using now, and it's really makes it feel more grounded when it's so fantastical.
Yeah. I think we've highlighted that it is essential content to experience.
100% worth the downtime alone. Easily worth your money for Elite. Any money that you've ever spent on Elite is worth it on these. I thought it was brilliant. Not what I expected, but fantastic.
And regarding the environment, I would say it is not an especially hot zone for AX activity. I think a couple of Cyclops spawned and a couple of Scouts. So as long as you've got your wits about. Oh, did you really?
I got glazed. It was real bad. I got glazed. So it made me super sad. It's not.
Be prepared. I'll say be prepared to go in 2 or 3 times in order to get all of them. And if you have to rebuy, then never fly without one. So yeah.
Okay, then I think we'll leave that there, and we'll come back to. Obviously, this is going to be something that's going to run and run. As far as any other business this week, just to touch on, has anybody apart from me played Homeworld? Am I the only person who's played Homeworld before?
Sounds like it.
Crickets. Crickets.
Right.
No, I haven't played it. Sorry.
Wow.
This is game
Homeworld.
Elite Dangerous that I play mostly, and it kind of cuts into my other game time.
Yeah, well, as far as real-time strategies is concerned, real-time strategies games are concerned, everybody was really excited when in the old times when you could just do it on a 2D map. Homeworld is a complete 3D experience as you guide a fleet in a Battlestar Galactica trip to draw from a exiled planet to their homeworld, and it is one of the best RTSs there is, especially this free remastered version that you can get on the Epic Store until the 3rd of August.
I tell you what else you can get on the Epic Store. You can get The Expanse, the Telltale game, The Expanse. It's really good.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
not for free though.
I mean, yeah, I know it's not for free, but it's still really good.
Yeah. So I mean, I cannot. I cannot. If this game is utterly brilliant, you cannot skip it. You've got to give it at least a go. So yeah, that's Homeworld.
I feel like
yes.
my Epic Game Store is completely full of all of the games that are free on Epic. I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll get it. I might play it eventually. Why would you not at this point?
The only thing that I haven't played yet on the Epic Store, and I'm scared to, is Alien Isolation in VR.
Oh God. I've like I've wanted to complete that so many times. It's the right kind of scary. It does some jump scares, but it's not like super scary. I imagine in VR it's fucking terrifying. I definitely would do that.
Oh yeah. If I remember rightly, there was the when I can't remember, I think it was Ed who told me, when Ed was the community manager for Elite Dangerous, they had set this thing up at Gamescom or something like that, right next to it, because they were doing the VR experience. They had Alien Isolation next to them, and the amount of people that came out of there shaking with white faces, he said, looking slightly sick.
Alien Isolation's quite old now as well, and it still holds up graphically.
I know. Anyway, on the subject of scary shows.
It's not scary. It's not scary. The second episode of our D&D show went out on Sunday. It's Roll for Adventure. It's already up on YouTube as well. It has Katie Chaos, Crispy Tater Tot, generally Jace, and Katie Anna, who are my players in it. It's a good laugh. They leveled up at the end of this episode, so we finished a chapter, and there's more stuff coming. It's just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy doing it. So I will continue to pimp it out because it's one of my favorite things. D&D's brilliant. You should definitely check it out.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's been sort of 35 years since I last played it, so.
I mean, I could earmark you for a show, Colin, if you have time at some point.
You know what I'd have to do? I would have to dig out the original Phoenix Defire magic user.
Nah, you wouldn't, because that would be an older edition of Dungeons and Dragons, and I would not be allowing that.
I'm sure I can translate him to modern times.
I do not believe that you could.
Hey, you've still got Fireball in this bloody modern version. So
they can take my AD&D, but they will never take my Fireball.
Yeah. Okay.
Quick update, Colin. But on your scintillating recommendation, I have just, for the princely sum of £0 and 0 pence, purchased Homeworld Remastered Collection.
Amazing.
Yes. It is. You get the original Homeworld 1 and Homeworld 2, and the remastered versions. I would recommend the remastered versions because honestly, they are beautiful.
Cool. I will play those when I've finished Elite.
Alec, we know you're never going to finish Elite. Heck, I'm still forcing myself through Mass Effect Andromeda at the moment. I just, ooh, that game gets a chore towards the end. It really does.
Oh, don't say that. I've never played any of them, and you really need to do that.
Oh no, the Mass
I've got to
Effect.
play all of them though.
Oh, Mass Effect 1, a little bit of a chore. 2 and 3, unbelievably among. Yeah. Forget what people says about the ending to 3. It doesn't matter. It's the journey of getting there.
I think also let me interject with that I've seen a lot of people say that a lot of people have said that the ending to 3 isn't very good, but I've seen a lot of people say it's what you make of it as well, you know.
It is but what people don't realize is there's actually 7 different endings. They're just colored about the fact that when it was released there was too much crunch, so they just cut it and didn't put the proper endings on. If they'd put the proper endings on when it was first released, they wouldn't have had this backlash around it. Well, not as much, I don't think. So, but yes, but Mass Effect 4 is in development now, so I'm cautiously optimistic after the Legendary Edition. Anyway, off on Tangent Town again. I think, has anybody got any other business apart from Scythes?
By the Expanse.
Okay, by the Expanse.
Sorry, it was really good.
So, okay,
I really enjoyed it. So if you enjoy The Expanse and you've watched The Expanse, you're probably going to adore it.
Oh, good grief! Don't get Ben started on it. We'll never hear the end of it.
Oh God, I bet he's probably already playing it.
Yeah. Right. Let's give our shout outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. It'll be interesting to see whether or not that CQC bug has been looked at, because I didn't see
mention
anything.
it.
I know they didn't mention it, which I'm hoping they have, but yeah.
That's your Easter egg.
It might be an Easter egg, yeah, or a dot patch later on. For those, we're also giving shout-outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So we've got The Guard Frequency, who do other space games and have been very nasty to us in the last couple of episodes. Give them a slap, will we? And also, I don't know, this other lot, sort of screws which are loose.
Never heard of it.
Here.
Yeah, fixated about cheese.
Thanks.
So hello to them. So following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest. That's provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. Would also like to thank all those who have chipped in the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders that have harassed the Chris Mark IV. How many people have you had to deal with, Chris?
I think we've had sort of 4 people overall. We've had Siberius, La Crev Endengo, I think is how that's pronounced, Jeannie Van ZYL, and William Solo hanging out with us today.
You sort of they are hanging out complete. They're not sort of half in a bunk.
Yeah, half in a floor, half in a bulkhead. One missing an arm. But Siberius did let me stand in front of his new helmet to see if I could see my reflection.
And could you?
I could not see my reflection, but the reflection in the helmet did change along with the signage and stuff on the station concourse. So you get the elements around the helmet, but you don't get commanders in front of you. At least on the settings that I'm on. It might be that someone that has got even more super duper dialed up stuff might actually get it.
Gotcha. Right, well, in that case, it's just a case of thanking Commander Tokuso, Jay and Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music for the show. And Alan Stroud's Lave Revolution album is now available for all of you who want to buy it off. Is it Spotify?
Everywhere.
Spotify, Amazon, the whole works. I think I may have a copy of that somewhere. So that is it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can contact us in the contact links at home/contact us on the website. That's laveradio.com if anybody's interested. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. So thanks to Commander Indigo.
It's been such a treat. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. We'll have you on again. And the same invite goes out to any of those hillbilly redneck radio people who want to join in. That'll get Chig going. Also, Commander Psychic.
Thank you. We'll do the question of the week next week. Check out it in Discord, or I'll retweet it from the Lave account. But it's a good one. It involves creativity, and I want to give it justice with conversation. And we had a lot to talk about this week. But thank you, guys.
Yes. Yes, question of the week, definitely. And finally, Commander Alec Turner.
Thank you, Colin. Good night, all.
And we cannot forget our wonderful tech specialist, the Chris Markful.
You're welcome.
Glad to have you on board. Right, until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word. Space can be loaded. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 1st of August, 3309. The location of the missing Far God megaship, the Dedicant, has been pinpointed, not by the Federation, but by the Imperial Navy. Early indications are that the megaship is in distress. The megaship was seized late last year by the Federation, soon after its construction. Having outlawed the Order of the Far God, the Federal plan was to deport to the Alliance many thousands of the cult members on board the captured megaship. But on the 16th of June, the prisoners somehow took control of the ship, and it now appears that they chose to take it and their would-be Federal guards to the Thargoid-controlled HIP 19600 system. The Federation has been tight-lipped about the theft of what it considers to be a Federal megaship, but Vice Admiral Amir Rafiq of the Imperial Navy has a large bucket of popcorn and has been happily broadcasting information about what the Empire has been able to find out. The Dedicant seems somewhat the worse for wear, having suffered the attentions of some of the Thargoid residents of HIP 19600. At this early stage, we're unable to provide any more information about why the Fargod cult members chose to visit this dangerous system. However, close examination of the megaship may yield clues, and perhaps may also help us to understand the possible implications of its rediscovery. In related news, while travelling to the wreck, Galnet News Digest field staff reported that glaive interdictions seemed slightly less inevitably fatal than they have been for those who choose to run away. This is, however, an early finding and needs further research.